comments to the chair and not a way I think everybody should get to speak. The question is, and the comment has to do with the question earlier about your concern about, I'm paraphrasing, being able to talk to a legislator up here up against some retaliation. Is that accurate, at least generally speaking?
I mean, that's how I took Mr. Shannon's comment.
And how long have you been in state government?
22 years.
And are you aware that there's a law that specifically protects state employees from talking to their legislators?
Senator Malone, I know the law. Let me respond this way.
Well, let me ask, I get to ask the questions because he's going to cut me off.
Yes, sir.
So you are aware that you are fully protected by the laws of Arkansas to talk to any elected official about anything you want to talk about unless there are certain conditions where they are protected. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And why did you infer then that there's this big bugaboo out there and they can't talk to their state employees, their state representatives or senators? And the second part of the question, so I'm trying to squeeze it in.
Yes,
If you knew that and you were advising these people and they were listening, they were hearing you but they weren't listening, why didn't you tell them? Ignore that. The law protects you. Go talk to your legislators, senators and representatives. This is serious. Why didn't you do that?
Let me respond that way, sir. Yeah, you're right. I've been in the state for 22 years. And over those 22 years, I have received calls from the governor's office and DFNA asking me straight point questions. And when I'm asked a question, I tell the truth. But when you work with, everybody seems to comment made by the governor and a kind-hearted, soft man. You've never seen the side of John Shannon that I have and others have. And I don't like that side of John Shannon. I've seen it now. And I don't like it.
Sir, I'm not talking about John Shannon, Mr. Chairman. I'm trying to be brief again. I want to get an answer.
Senator Malone, take the time.
The law says a public employee shall not be prohibited from communicating with an elected public official concerning a matter related to the public employee's job, except under certain conditions. A public employee shall not be prohibited from exercising a right or privilege under the Freedom of Information Act. It goes on and on to protect state employees. My question is not about Mr. Shannon, not about the governor, about you and your testimony today. Why didn't you exercise your right, and if you knew it, and you were advising people and telling them that you said you were talking to them, they heard you but they didn't listen, I think is what you said. Why didn't you let them know there is a law? Now, go talk to your senator and your representative. Simple question, like a simple answer.
Because I knew, even if the law protects me, it wouldn't protect me under John Shannon's way of taking care of business. And I think that's obvious for the way I was thrown under the bus in the newspaper.
Thirdly, it shall be unlawful for any public employer to discipline, to threaten to discipline, to reprimand either orally or in writing, to place any notation in a public employee's personnel file, disciplining or reprimanding the public employee, or otherwise discriminating against a public employee because a public employee exercises a right to communicate with an elected public official as granted on this subchapter. Now, your answer is?
Senator Malone, he has already answered the question.
Well, he hasn't. He hasn't told me why he doesn't believe that this law is sufficient to protect public employees from talking to their senator or their representative.
Mr. Araiza, did you know this law existed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
May I make that one clear?
You're recognized.
I think this is a question for the agency director that made the order, not the state employee that received it.
I agree.
Thank you.
Senator Malone, we're going to move on.